Hey everybody, I'm Bobby Briggs. I'm the webmaster of Bobby Horror Fan. Right here is a Blu-ray of the first 5 films from 1978 to 89. And now we're going to cover the first video. I did the first and second Halloweens. We're going to start with the third one. The third one was not a Michael Myers movie. A lot of you were very disappointed with it. A lot of you liked it and wish that they would have did more of a conceptual thing or maybe an anthology. I think that's what John Carpenter originally planned to do. Halloween 3 did okay in the movie theater. I think people were expecting Michael Myers, and when they went to go see it, it was like, okay, there's no Michael Myers. The story ran about Silver Shamrock, and Tom Atkins and Stacey Nelkin starred in this movie, and Dan O'Herlihy, an old-time actor, played the villain. It opened up with the hospital, and Tom Atkins is getting cookies from the nurse, and some strange dude walks into the hospital, takes the guy's eye sockets right out of his head, and then he walks out and he throws gas on himself and blows himself up in a car. Tom Atkins knows something's up with this strange scenario that just happened. He starts looking into it, and people start buying these masks from a manufacturing company called Silver Shamrock, and the infamous commercial music comes on, and we also get to see Nancy Loomis reprise a role on the Halloween series, but not as Annie Brackett, but she plays Linda, Tom Atkins' wife. And after that, the movie just kind of went away, and everybody was expecting more of Michael Myers, I think. About 4 years later, the Akkad family decided to reprise Michael somehow, and Halloween 4, Return of Michael Myers, came out in 1988. And cast was like not a very well-known cast except for Danielle Harris, who was known for Roseanne, and Donald Pleasance reprised Samuel Loomis, who we thought was blown to bits in Halloween 2, but he comes back, he's all badly burned, and the makeup is so grotesque, and he looks like the Phantom of the Opera basically in this movie. He's his usual crazy self. I gotta get Michael before he hurts everybody else. And, he's obsessed and fixated on Michael. Danielle Harris plays Jamie Lloyd, the daughter of Laurie Strode, who is now supposedly dead in this movie. There's only a photograph of Jamie Lee Curtis in the movie. I think back when I went to see it in the movies, I was kind of hoping for maybe a cameo or that she was going to come back somehow. Nope, not going to happen until H2O, and that was 10 years later. Well, anyway, Halloween 5 tried to bring back the slasher genre. It was dying. Freddy got funnier. Chucky was the doll killing everybody now. Jason was getting supernatural. They were really feeling like the slasher genre was starting to get a little cartoonish and a little away from the scary slice and dice. Halloween 5 tried to recapture some of that, but it just didn't capture any interest, and the cast was not unknown. There was no big names in that movie. Danielle Harris and I are the same age. I look at her and I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe she's my age. She looks like she's 25 years old. She's a beautiful woman, and she's also become quite the scream queen. Now, the next movie. Now, if you watch at the end of Halloween 5, we see the man in black with the hat. That was a precursor of what was going into Curse of Thorn, which is why Michael Myers kills people, and it goes into this thing with the, his tattoo of one of these kind of druid marks on his hand. And I think later in the movie, if you watch the alternative version, Loomis sees it on his hand. It goes into a whole curse of Michael has to wipe out his whole entire family. And it's all done at Smith's Grove Sanitarium. Dr. Wynn, played by Mitchell Ryan. Mitchell Ryan is a very well-known soap opera actor. He was on Where the Heart Is, General Hospital. He was the Frank Smith in the 90s that Luke and Laura were chasing after. He was the villain along with Michael. And if you watch Halloween 6, there is the most insane hospital massacre in one room where Michael just cuts up the whole room. I mean, the woman's get thrown in the glass, another doctor's getting this, another doctor loses his ear. Michael's just like ripping everybody apart with this big long machete. You can honestly say Michael was pissed on a Monday. He just went in and he wiped the whole room out of like 15 doctors and nurses. That scene, I remember seeing that in the movies, and the lights were going like this, and everybody was just like, what the hell? And the movie bombed, but something like that got people talking, and we couldn't wait for another Halloween. 3 years later, Halloween H2O came out. Laurie Strode came back. Jamie Lee Curtis reprised the role, to everybody's shock, because she had said back in 93, 94, I am never doing another horror movie as long as I live. Well, H2O came out, and she did not promise what she was going to say that she was going to do. H2O delivered. It brought back the classic scares, the less gore, except for the scene when Charlie goes into that, the elevator thing, and Jodie Lynn O'Keefe loses her foot when that thing comes down on her. Then Michael pins her down on the floor and after that he chases Michelle Williams from Dawson's Creek and Josh Hartnett, and they're running outside, and he comes out of behind the tree and goes after the both of them. It's the classic run and scream type of movie. It brought back a lot of that. And then, of course, Jamie Lee Curtis has had enough at this point. Laurie grabs that axe, goes and fights her brother in the school, hits him with everything, every little weapon she could find in a hallway. He goes off a scaffold thing up there and goes down into the bottom. And she goes back and thinks that he's dead, and he comes back for more, kills her boyfriend, and one thing leads to another, and he ends up in the van, and then all of a sudden the van goes off the cliff, and Michael is pinned between the van and a tree. She chops his head off, and we're led to believe this is it. There's no more Michael Myers. 3 years later, Resurrection comes out. Busta Rhymes, Tyra Banks. It tries to generate that interest, but we're all complaining on AOL chat, why the hell is all these rappers coming on to horror movies all of a sudden? I think it bombed. They were trying to get into that whole entire internet craze with reality TV. It lost its purpose after a while in that movie, and I can understand why people didn't like it. The only thing I liked about it was Jamie Lee Curtis came back for, because her contract said she had to do another movie, and she said, how about we do a nice 15-minute cameo, I kill him, or he kills me. It went out at the end that he kills her. Well, like I said, later on in another video, you're going to find out something very shocking, so stay tuned.